Adrian Rurewhai.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Mr Chairman, speaking to the commencement clause, if I was to choose a date, I would choose the 5th of August 2016 as the commencement of this bill. And I would do that because it would be a continuation of the legacy set in the 1970s. Because on the 5th of August 1976, next year will be the 40th anniversary when the government of the Right Honourable Robert Muldoon withdrew the then superannuation scheme. And so I think, and to make further comparisons, sir, to that legacy, the Right Honourable Robert Muldoon said that that superannuation scheme was turning New Zealand into a Soviet clone. And the comparison is that the Prime Minister, John Key, has said that the KiwiSaver was communism by stealth. So here's a really tight comparison between that government then, the government now, and the legacy that the national government continues today by trying to push through this legislation under urgency. Sir, there was an article written in the New Zealand Herald before the 2008 election, and it warned the National Party not to go down the same path. Well, the genius of the KiwiSaver put in place by the Labour government under Michael Cullen was that it's taken this government over 7 years, it has taken them 8 attempts to try to get rid of KiwiSaver. And the article that I refer to, sir, ends with the words, "It would be a tragedy if the new national government under Key and English made the same dreadful mistake as Muldoon in 1976. Sir, they've made that mistake over the last 7 years by making 8 cuts to this. So the commencement ought to be on the anniversary to commemorate the 40 years since the national government cut that superannuation scheme and denied our country of having a fund of $280 billion so that we can have a future for our children. And this piece of legislation that has already been stated that steals from future generations. Well, I'm part of the generation that act by Robert Muldoon stole from my generation and future generations. And the national government is continuing to enhance that legacy. It is wrong, sir. I oppose this bill in its entirety, but I suggest that the commencement date ought to be the 5th of August 2016 to give ordinary New Zealanders the opportunity to have the same benefits that members opposite have had and that the whole of New Zealand ought to be able to have as well. That's my contribution to this part of the bill, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.